Hi everybody, this is Liz Choate, registered dietitian and director of clinical nutrition here at Jackson Purchase Medical Center, doing another Learning with Liz lesson with you guys today. And again, trying to think about a topic to talk about, and I actually talked about this a couple of weeks ago about how much fluid or water that a person needs because it's just so hot outside. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to kind of continue on talking a little bit about that, because a lot of people maybe need more water than what they drink. Some people may need a little bit less water than what they drink. I know I've had a lot of people talk to me about that they have been doing like some water challenges and trying to drink a gallon or 2 gallons of water in a day. And I'm like, oh, you need to be kind of careful with that, because a person can drink too much water. But with how hot it is outside right now, I mean, we need that fluid to help to keep our body at the proper temperature. So I thought I'd just kind of continue on talking a little bit about that and how much that we need, as well as try to give you kind of signs and symptoms of heat stroke if somebody's outside working in this heat, to make sure that they can recognize those symptoms also. So how much do we need? A lot of people, kind of follow the 8-ounce glasses in a day. I know I tell even a lot of like my weight loss patients that to do that, but the number that a person needs can actually be a little bit different based on their weight. So just to kind of tell you a little bit about where water is in our body and why we need it and how much we need it, to try to kind of help you with that. So about 60% of our body is made of water. Think about that. 60% of our body is made from water. It has many, many roles in our body to keep different systems working like they should. So, staying well hydrated helps us to prevent things such as kidney stones, urinary tract infections, constipation. A lot of times we don't think about, oh, I need to drink water if I'm constipated, but a lot of times that is a person's issue, is they don't drink enough water to help with something like that. We lose water out of our body every single day. We lose it when we urinate, when we have a bowel movement, when we're sweating. Very active individuals who maybe are doing a lot of activity outside or excessive exercise, they lose even more with that water. So it's so very, very important that we try to replenish that. So if we lose more water than what we're taking in, then that can cause us to become dehydrated. Dehydration can cause things such as causing headaches, dizziness, digestive problems. Even a mild dehydration can cause us maybe not to think as clearly. So it's so very important that we try to stay hydrated. And if a person doesn't take care of that dehydration, that can lead to many other problems, and sometimes it could even lead to somebody dying because they're dehydrated. But also we can become overhydrated also. It's not very common. Athletes and individuals have certain medical conditions may have a higher risk of this, but some of the symptoms of overhydration are the same symptoms of dehydration. I know it's crazy, but it's very similar. Confusion, seizures. I can't preach enough that we need water, but if we have too much water, it can cause issues also. So everybody's different of how much we need. The amount just varies depending on male, female, their activities that they do, but just in general, as long as a person doesn't have any type of, say, renal failure or some type of medical reason that they can't drink a lot of fluids. For women, the total amount of water is about 11.5 cups of water that we need every day, and for men is about 15.5 cups. So, about 20% of our water we get from our food, and then the rest of it is what we drink every day. So, and the little article, I'm getting a lot of this information in, we'll attach it to this talk, but it gives it says color check, and I'm like, what are we talking about color check? So what it's talking about is a quick, easy way to see if you're getting enough water is when you do urinate, you look at your color of your urine. If it's a light pale yellow color, then you know you're getting plenty of fluids. If it's a darker yellow or say an amber color, then you know you may not be getting enough with that water. So trying to drink a little bit more if it's like that. So, you know, ways to increase our water. Listen to our body. If we're thirsty, drink water, okay? Especially if we're very active or if we're outside when it's hot like it is right now. Try to go more for water than going for that soda or for that energy drink. Drink water throughout the day. You know, drink water with your meals. Try to drink water in between meals if you possibly can. For somebody who does not want, I just don't like water. I'm like, okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you to start drinking it with your meals first, and you can add a lemon slice, a lime slice, you know, adding some flavor to it. And then once you become into that habit of drinking that water with your meals, then it just becomes a habit of drinking it later on. You know, it can even use like the little flavor enhancers, like say the Crystal Light flavors and stuff like that, to put a flavor into your water. Because a lot of times that's why people don't want to drink water, because it doesn't have a taste. So I said, you know, add the fruit, you know, little pieces of fruit to it, or cucumbers or things like that. So, and then I know when I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about, you know, different foods that contain a lot of water. So that would be our fruits. Of course, any kind of with our liquids, like with our juices, milk, things such as that. But, you know, our fruits right now, especially, you know, with the watermelon and things like that, we get a lot of different kinds of fluid from those kinds of foods. So that's really, really good. And even from some of our vegetables, we get some fluid from that too. So, you know, just trying to bump up that water if we can. Now, if you're outside working in this heat for long periods of time, I just kind of wanted to give you some of the signs and symptoms of heat exhaustion, so that way it doesn't go into a heat stroke, because that can be very life-threatening. So, you know, signs of heat exhaustion include heavy sweating, muscle cramps, fatigue, weakness, dizziness, headache, fainting, nausea or vomiting, very dark urine, this is crazy, but a cool, moist skin. If somebody's been outside and working in this heat, and then their body feels kind of cold, like the outside, it could be that their body temperature is getting a little high. So how do we get away from that? How do we solve the problem of that? Is trying to make sure that, you know, we get in some shade. We are drinking some fluids. We are getting in the air conditioning, getting, you know, wet rags, that type of thing. And if it doesn't, you know, if it doesn't get better, that person needs to go to the ER immediately, because heat exhaustion can go into heat stroke. And if a person has a heat stroke, that's not very good on the body. And sometimes, I mean, a person can even die from having heat stroke. So, you know, making sure that you're staying well hydrated if you're outside working in the yard, working around the house. I mean, even if we're out just enjoying the day, like boating at the pool, laying out, you've got to make sure you have plenty of fluids on hand to keep your body well hydrated. So I think I've probably talked this subject to death, but that's okay. Just to giving you some really good information about trying to keep us, you know, hydrated is so very, very important. If you have any questions about today's topic, or have any topics that you would like for me to talk about, please just kind of drop us a line, and I'd be glad to answer those questions or talk about another topic. So I hope everyone has a great day today. Drink that water and stay cool.